Is this Triple H's major WWE announcement? But first, a former WWE champion has made their new Japan Pro-Wrestling debut. Earlier today, NJPW Wrestle Kingdom would go down inside the Tokyo Dome, with the event being the biggest in New Japan's annual calendar. Whilst as always the card was action-packed and full of golden Meltzer stars, there would also be another star in attendance that made their surprise debut. Following his release from WWE in September 2023, Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, would be shown heading to ringside with his brother Ryan in order to keep a close eye on the night's proceedings. Whilst at first Nemeth would remain out of harm's way, it wouldn't be too long before he found himself face to face with brand new IWGP Global Champion David Finlay Jr., who was coming off the back of a huge win over Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay to become the first ever champion. Finlay would confront Nick at ringside before the two men exchanged words, this before punches started flying as staff stepped in to separate them. They would once again clash during the Wrestle Kingdom post-show press conference, with Nemeth eventually getting his hands on the IWGP Global Championship belt, a sign of his intentions in the promotion. The New Japan appearance would later be followed by a video shared to social media titled Wanted Man, which appears to be Nemeth's nickname for his upcoming run outside of WWE. The promo video shows Nemeth in the back of a police car before he eventually finds himself fighting zombies whilst handcuffed, with the ending playing what appears to be his new entrance music, a song titled Wanted Man by Downstraight, the artist behind the songs for Cody Rhodes, Matt Cardona, and many more. It'll be interesting to see if Nick Nemeth shows up in other wrestling promotions in the near future, with it unlikely that he'll be tied down to just New Japan Pro Wrestling. Whether it be TNA Wrestling or AEW, the Wanted Man will likely have a ton of open doors to walk through in the coming weeks and months. And next, a former TNA champion is now all Elite. Last night on TBS, AEW would host the first episode of Dynamite of the year live from Newark, New Jersey's Prudential Center. Heading into the event, there would be much talk on what surprises could be in store for AEW fans to kickstart the new year, with two potential additions to the women's division being prime candidates for an appearance. Over the past few days, two reports have dropped from Fightful Select that revealed AEW were close to signing Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks in WWE, as well as former Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo, who would hit the free agency market at the start of the year following the expiration of her TNA wrestling contract. With that said, whilst we didn't get an appearance from both competitors, we did see one of them show up on the night to confront Mariah May. The former Stardom star would make her AEW in-ring debut with a win over Queen Emanata, this before May took to the mic to run down the Newark crowd. Mariah would then be interrupted by New Jersey's own Deonna Purrazzo, who will declare that she's coming for Toni Storm's AEW Women's World Championship belt. The signing would then be made official by Tony Khan on social media, as he would post the Deonna Purrazzo is all Elite graphic. This isn't the first time we've seen Purrazzo in an AEW ring, as in May 2022, she would lose her ROH Women's World Championship to Mercedes Martinez shortly after the Tony Khan takeover of Ring of Honor. This is the first time that Purrazzo has been a free agent in almost 4 years, with the 29-year-old ready to enter the next chapter of her decade-long career thus far. While some outlets had speculated that they expected Mercedes Moné to also appear on Dynamite last night to make her AEW debut, as we know, this didn't end up happening. On top of that, Deonna's appearance would lead to fan speculation that the Mercedes plans were off. However, that doesn't appear to be the case. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select would confirm on X that Moné is still expected to join the AEW roster, although nothing is official until the ink is dry. Next up, a current TNA champion is expected to return to WWE. Alongside her real-life friend Sasha Banks, Naomi would exit WWE 1 year ago in January 2023, with her eventually signing for Impact Wrestling, where she would go on to become the Impact Knockouts champion. As of this recording, the now Trinity is still the crown jewel of the Knockouts division, with her still holding the gold almost 6 months later after winning it at Slammiversary, although it looks like her time as champion and time in the company as a whole could be coming to an end. According to a report from Fightful Select, sources within WWE and the soon-to-be rebranded TNA expect Trinity to go back to WWE, this when she becomes a free agent in the near future, and they would write, In January of 2023, WWE sources told Fightful they were confident they could get Trinity back in the company. However, there was an unofficial hiring freeze within WWE, though we aren't sure if that had anything to do with why she didn't end up there. However, in speaking with WWE sources, not only did they think there was a good chance she could end up back in the company, many sources claimed they expected it. Fightful would add that even sources within TNA expect the move to happen sooner rather than later, with one WWE source adding that something huge would have to happen for her to not end up back in WWE sooner than later, but they noted that this is a crazy free agent period. Whilst there is currently no known time frame on when Trinity could be free to sign with WWE, it's worth noting that she signed with Impact back in April 2024, and assuming she signed a one-year deal with the company, we may be a few months away from her WWE return just yet. For now, Trinity is scheduled to defend her Knockouts Championship against Jordynne Grace at the TNA Hard to Kill event on January 13th, with the challenger cashing in her Call Your Shot Gauntlet win. Whether this will be when Trinity drops her belt remains to be seen. And next, WWE is set to celebrate 40 years of Hulkamania. On January 23rd, 1984, Hulk Hogan would defeat the Iron Sheik to win his first ever WWE World Championship, with this moment looked back on as the birth of the Hulkamania era that dominated the mid to late 80s. WrestleVotes would take to X this week to reveal that WWE are preparing to celebrate this landmark from 40 years ago, with brand new merchandise, collectibles, and perhaps even an appearance from the Hulkster himself. And they would write, WWE plans to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania this month with various new merchandise items and collectibles for Hulk Hogan. I'm told an appearance by Hogan is not out of the question, but also not planned as of now. The recognized start of Hulkamania has generally been when he defeated the Iron Sheik for his first WWE Championship on 1/23/1984. Whilst Hulk Hogan has become a controversial figure in more recent times, there's no denying his impact on the wrestling business during the peak years of Hulkamania, with WWE set to honor the 6-time WWE champion in the weeks ahead. Next up, WWE are high on this top free agent. The professional wrestling scene is abuzz with speculation on where numerous top free agents could land, with the market filled with several former champions who find themselves without a contract. On January 1st, 2024, Camille, a former NWA Women's World Champion, would enter free agency, with a departure from Billy Corgan's wrestling promotion being described as cordial, following her decision to not renew her deal. This week, House of Wrestling would reveal that WWE holds Camille in high regard, and that following their recent merger with UFC, WWE is actively seeking new talent, and Camille is notably on their list of potential signings. TKO officials have expressed that they're in acquisition mode, aiming to bring in new talent capable of making an immediate impact. Further insights from PW Insider highlight that WWE sources confirm Camille is definitely on their recruitment radar, and that there's been talk within the organization about possibly introducing the former NWA champion on NXT. The final decision of whether Camille will join WWE remains uncertain at this point. And next up is this Triple H's major WWE announcement. Over the past few days, you've likely heard of the rumors that WWE and TNA could be set to link up as part of a working agreement. This after it was revealed that Triple H will be making a major announcement tonight on Peacock. These rumors stem from the recent news that TNA had signed a deal with Endeavor Streaming, which is owned by the same parent company as WWE. On top of that, WWE is billing the first week of January, in which the teased announcement will take place, as Knockout Week, whilst TNA have revealed that pay-per-views on the TNA streaming service will now be known as Premium Live Events, two things that have only boosted this potential connection. With that said, PW Insider have done some digging and have confirmed that WWE TNA isn't in the plans, with this rumor being nothing more than fan speculation, and they would write, WWE is advertising an announcement from Paul Levesque on tomorrow's WWE 2024 preview special that will stream on Peacock. For whatever reason, we have been sent links to social media posts suggesting the announcement is related to a working agreement with TNA, aka the former Impact Wrestling. In asking with WWE sources today, we are told there is absolutely nothing to the connection that some are making, and the announcement is not related to a TNA working agreement or anything related to that company. It's yet yet another case of people putting 2 and 2 together and assuming 1,000, no different than the assumptions last year that Saudi Arabia was buying WWE, and other instances of people who act as if they know something, assuming and being incorrect. As for what the announcement could be, it's possible that it could be the reveal of the HULKAMANIA 40-year celebrations, or maybe even the Money in the Bank pay-per-view in Toronto that was announced today. But what we do know is that it isn't linked to Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. The announcement will be made at 8 PM Eastern on Peacock tonight. And before you go, make sure you check out every WWE and AEW contract that expires in 2024.